All right, peace everyone. This is Kaisheen, Mailman Muscle. I'm just getting into the gym. It's February 9th, 2025. It is about 6:25 p.m. The reason that's significant is because that means the Super Bowl is about to kick off in like 5 minutes. But yes, here I am getting to the gym. One, this is regular training day, but two, ever since my beloved Ravens got eliminated, I've been really tuned out of what's happening with the NFL. And I said, you know what? Let me see how dead it is in the gym during the Super Bowl. So I'm gonna get this workout in. Kimberly's here too. She's been sad since the Commanders got eliminated. That's her hometown team. We will end up leaving here in time to see some of it. We'll head to my mother's house. Our children are there. My brothers are there. I have a new niece. Gosh, I couldn't remember for a second. Sorry, Josh. Anyway, yeah, brand new, like 2 days old. So hopefully we'll see all of them in a little bit. But let's go into this dead gym and take advantage of all the empty equipment in here. There's a few people here, but as you might be able to hear behind me. But let's go check this out and see what we have today. So, let me see. There's like nobody. Field is dead. All right, Kimberly just finished her first set. We do a 360. As you can see, it's pretty dead in here. There's like 10, was it like a dozen people in here maybe? What do you think? Maybe a dozen people in here? Maybe like, I don't know. No, there's two. I'd say at the most there's 20 people in gold. Right, including staff. Normally, I'd guess there'd be at least, not guess, from experience, there's at least double this. Yeah, at least 50 people in here on a Sunday night. So it's skeleton crew in here. We're going to try to help empty the place, or contribute to the place being empty sooner than later. So let's get going. All right, down to the nuts and bolts. In this video, featuring pretty much just work sets and starting with the incline press, what I'm finding is that I've reached a point where I think I'm going to have to keep the weight on the bar the same, try to increase reps for the next probably at least 1 or 2 sessions that I use this exercise. Right now, I am happy, though. I'm up to doing body weight for reps on the incline press, which is a pretty substantial increase. I think when I started doing this movement for the first time in ages, maybe, I don't know, it was a few weeks back, probably a month or more, I was only using like 155, I think. So put 35 pounds on the bar in like 6 weeks, so I'm pretty happy about that. Kimberly is obviously using a lot less weight. Women and men generally do not press the same amounts, so there's no surprise. She obviously uses a much more narrow grip, and one thing you'll also notice, for her, this is just work set. I had work set 1 because I'm doing 2. She's only doing 1 work set of the incline press, and that is because she emphasizes chest training a lot less than I do. Kimberly is in the middle of a huge body transformation. She's lost, I think, maybe 80 pounds by now. She had a stroke in 2017. She's gotten herself in a much better place. And she does have aspirations to compete at some point, hopefully in the figure division. Chest development is not weighed as heavily there. All right, so that's kind of cool. I don't know if you can I zoom? No, I can't zoom on that. But behind me, that is, you know, an NFL game center or whatever. Anyway, they're keeping up with the game. You know, kind of like it looks on your phone when you're too cheap, like I am, to pay for, you know, NFL or MLB or whatever it is. So at least we can keep up with what's going on without having to check our phones. Incline press to seated row. Ideally, doing an upper body session, like to go from, you know, a push to a pull. Similarly, in lower body sessions, I like to go from a quad dominant exercise to hamstring exercise. And so with the With the gym being as empty as it was, pretty much picking whatever you wanted to do in whatever sequence you wanted was not a problem. When it comes to exercise sequence, there are many schools of thought. If you're doing a bro split where you're doing like one body part per exercise, one body part per training day, it probably doesn't matter as much because say if it was a back day, every exercise you do is hitting your back. But in this case, every exercise we're doing is not hitting back. Some people prefer, say, to do all of their chest exercises. Say if you're doing 2 chest exercises, 2 back, 2 shoulders, something like that. Some people would prefer to do all chest, then all back, then all shoulders, or however. Or others like us prefer to give one body part a rest while we work another one. So hit chest first. Now chest is resting while we're hitting back exercise. And then from here, we're about to go to pec deck, which will hit chest again. Back gets to rest while we're doing that. And to me, I've just found that I can handle more weight on the later exercises, if I give myself or give that body part a rest after hitting it once. Also keep in mind that a lot of exercises have overlap. So for example, I said chest because of the incline press, when in truth we actually hit chest, shoulders, and triceps to varying degrees. 2 more. 1 more. There you go. Something I've noticed with both Kimberly and I over the last, several months is that both of us are more vocal in the gym. Like we make more noise. And I know that's fairly new because when we first started at Planet Fitness, we were actually afraid to grimace at all, grunt at all, even though that's very normal for the gym. And turns out when the gym's empty, you can really hear it. Stretch on the pecs is crazy, but it feels a lot more comfortable doing it with the bent arm version of the pec deck, which is why I really do like to go to Golds to get that. The pec deck at Planet Fitness is fine, and Golds has many models like the one at Planet Fitness, where you have your arms out straight. And so it feels like it's a much wider range of motion, but it's really not. Your hands have a wider range of motion, but not necessarily your pecs. So this is a lot better for my shoulders. All right, you'll beat it. 14, maybe 15. Let me get another one. Nope. All right. Speaking of my shoulders, for those of you who are not familiar with me or my channel, first of all, welcome if this is your first time here. But I used to be a power lifter from like 2008, I'll say up to present, because I haven't officially retired from powerlifting. I just pivoted into bodybuilding, and it turns out I might be halfway decent at it. But yeah, I tore my labrum way back in 2011. I remember I was training for USA Powerlifting Raw Nationals, and I did a weighted pull-up. I had 55 pounds hanging from me. Didn't go well. I didn't require surgery, but I did go through a few months of physical therapy, cortisone shots, and I've been able to this day to avoid having to be operated on, but that left side just does not feel the same. So you may often see me on video shifting, even during the set. I'll be adjusting sometimes for the first few reps of a set just to make sure that my shoulder feels right, that I can feel the muscles on the left side moving like I do on the right, or as close to my right as I possibly can. And here I'm surprised Kimberly only did one work set of the pullovers. Normally she'll do 2 work sets of back exercises. I ended up doing a second work set, but you'll see that a little later. I actually did my second work set of pullovers after I did this exercise and then the tricep exercise that followed. I wasn't sure I really wanted to do a second work set. That last one, the one that you just saw, felt awful. I mean, like in a good way awful, but I wasn't in a rush to get back to it. But again, I knew that nobody was going to be on it if I left it. So sure enough, it stayed empty the whole time. So I just went back later. Kimberly has also had some shoulder injuries. I don't know if any of hers have been diagnosed. So maybe we won't call them injuries yet. We'll call them ailments. But she does have issues with her shoulders. And so, we kind of approach shoulder training differently. Kimberly will almost never do partial reps on lateral raises. And as you saw in my last set, you'll see again on my next one, I will do plenty of partial reps on lateral raises. Easy 20.
What weight is this?
Same as last set, 105. My rationale for partials is because I realized that on lateral raises, shoulder movements in general, when you look at the movement of the shoulder and you think about range of motion, you think about where the weight is. For example, if you're doing a lateral raise here, I would usually think of my elbows as the range of motion, but really the shoulder is not the elbow. The shoulder's range of motion is far lower than the elbows is. So partials really help. All right, triceps?
Yep.
All right. I can probably explain that better in another video. If that's something you'd like to hear more thoughts about, let me know in the comment section. I'll make a video explaining what I mean about the range of motion of the shoulder joint relative to a lot of shoulder movements that we do. Anyway, triceps, this machine has really been something of a godsend to me. Doing overhead tricep extensions is always a pain in the backside to set up with a cable. You got to move the bench, get the bench in place, adjust the cable, make sure the tension's right, make sure the bench is the right distance from the cable, so that you can get the range of motion you want, etc. And this machine does all of that like instantly. So this is another thing that I'll actually go to Golds for specifically. This machine is just awesome when it comes to triceps. See how bad it made me feel. And so that's actually a good thing in the moment. That's one that I also am probably going to stick with the weight on it. Most of these exercises, the seated row, the incline press, pullover, and probably this, I'm going to keep the weight the same. I'll probably keep it the same for those laterals also. I probably want to get up to 15 legitimate reps per set, not counting partials, before I bump the weight up again.
All right.
So, I think I've kind of found my sweet spot as far as weights go. Kimberly, she's still kind of tinkering to see where her, what weights put her in the rep range that she wants on some of these upper body movements. She's nailed it more so for some lower body stuff. On this one, I don't know, maybe I'd bump it up 5 pounds, but I'd probably keep it the same and try to get up to like 28 or 30 total reps. Yeah, that hurts. So this is when I went back to the pullovers to get my second work set in. You may notice that I changed the grip. I did the first set with an underhand grip. Picked that up from Dorian Yates' Blood and Guts video. and do the second set with an overhand grip. It does feel a little bit different. I only got 10 reps here, and so that just confirms for me that I did the right thing by waiting, because if I had done this set, like 2 minutes or so after the first set that I did, I wouldn't even have gotten 10 reps. So I'm glad I waited it out. It paid off, and hopefully my back will be, even a little bit more swollen jacked as a result of getting a couple of extra reps. You know, a few extra reps in one workout isn't going to make or break anything, but a few extra reps over several workouts for several months can make a difference. I don't know if I'm glad I did that. I'm just joking. Yes, I'm glad I did it. I am on the road to 2 contests in 2025. God willing, I will be competing at the OCB Yorton Cup September 28th, and then OCB Pro Masters Nationals on October 11th. But it is really the journey that's more satisfying than the destination. I know that sounds kind of corny. I mean, who doesn't want to place well, win, do well? I mean, I do. I'm very competitive. But all of this happens one day at a time, one rep at a time, one set at a time, one meal at a time. You know what I mean. But unfortunately today, that does not include abs. It was wild. It would be as dead as this place is. The very last thing we want to use, somebody's actually using it.
And been on it for a minute. It might be on it for a minute more.
So the odds of that are like...
Well, let's go eat.
I guess. Glare is ridiculous. But anyway, all right, that's a wrap. I think it's halftime, so we should be at my mother's in time to, see the second half. Hopefully the Eagles hold this lead and, keep the NFL interesting for another year or so.
Fly, Eagles, fly?
Yeah, if it can't be Ravens or Commanders, they'll have to do. Anyway, thanks for watching. You know all the routine. Hit the thumbs up, comment, leave questions, click subscribe, and I'll see you the next time, folks. Peace.